Today is my first attempt at making rings. I've got some proper ring blanks. I've got some just little bits of metal framework to play with, some ultraviolet resin and a load of nail art materials, and of course a couple of different ultraviolet lamps to cure things with. So let's have a go. Story behind this, folks, is that Daniel Cooper has very kindly offered to do a collaboration with me, and so we got our heads together and thought, well, what's neither of us done so far? And neither of us seem to have done rings. Ultraviolet lamp, of course. This is my little my go-to little lamp. Some of you will have seen the little tray that I made a while ago that had got all rings in the top of it. That's what these are. They're just metal shapes. So can we make a ring with those? There's a question for you. I have got some ring blanks, as I showed you just then. They're proper little ring blanks. I'll put you the links for all these below, by the way. There's a lot of kit going on here. But this has got like an indented area here that you can put your decoration in. They come in a big box like this, all different sizes. These are sizes I've picked because they seem to fit the ring finger on my right hand, because I want to be able to model them, obviously. The other things I've got are, of course, different ultraviolet curing resins. Now, I don't know, I haven't seen Daniel's video yet, although I have seen a couple of little sneak preview photos that he sent me. I think he's using epoxy resin, I think. Well, by now, by the time you see this when it premieres, you'll probably know, because we're releasing my video straight after Daniel's, of course. But I thought for mine I'd try 2 different viscosities and 2 different brands of ultraviolet curing resin. See how we get on with those. So we've got those handy. Got some wire cutters, that's for these little rings. I've got an ordinary paintbrush. I've got a couple of little silicone tip paintbrushes, and I've got a little black pot. It's actually a lid off a bottle. But I thought if I poured my ultraviolet resin into that, because it's black, well, most of it might not cure up on me while I'm not expecting it. Then I've got a ton of different nail art bits and pieces here. There's little metal bits. I've got some of these little flower doodahs that I've used for things before, so we could have a play with those. Got lots of them. Got some glitter, of course, all little metal things, and some nail art powders. So yes, the other thing that's handy as always is my Wonder Wipes. I've always got a tub of them under my desk. And I am going to keep cleaning up, because nail art stuff gets messy, and I don't want to get bits where I don't want to get them, especially when I'm working on something as small and fiddly as this. I've even needed my glasses today, which I don't normally bother with. This is a tiny silicone mat that I made a long time ago. It was my first ever sticky mat, I think. And we're going to be using that. Right, let's have a look at this ring then. It struck me there's a number of different things you could do with these, and I was wondering about putting a band of washi tape around it, because I've got some really, really thin washi tape. But then I thought, wow, that sounds a bit lazy. It might be fiddly as well, to be honest. So I thought instead what we'd do is start with a band of resin. Maybe let's do something with sort of stars and something a little bit celestial. Don't know. Yeah, let's have a play. First thing to do will get a layer of ultraviolet curing resin in. So I'm going to try starting with the high viscosity one, because that seems to make sense to me. I'm now going to put on it just a very fine layer of powder. So let's go in with some dark blue. Blue and gold tends to look nice, doesn't it? So yeah, let's try the dark blue. so I've got a decent layer of the blue in here. You can see I might have to do a little bit of a clean up after, not a problem. But I've got a good layer of the blue in, and that's quite pretty. So let's pop the lid back on that. Got a good layer of it on my fingers as well, of course. I'm not wearing gloves because it's ultraviolet resin, which I don't seem to have any reactions to. It is meant to be safer. And I thought because I'm doing something fiddly, it'd be easier to handle it. So my poor hands are going to pay the price for this today. First of all, let's have us a little moon. Now, is this still sticky? A little bit. Yeah. So we're going to go in with a little moon. Basically, I'm just going to go all the way around it, sticking little things on, if I can. Oh dear. You know what, some things are easier with fingers. And as yeah, it's not sticky, not that sticky as I'd hoped. Right, so as I go, I'm just going to put a little bit of UV resin and cure it up. And that's just to keep enough to keep it in place, basically. So let's have a little dot just there. So just under my lamp again. So next step will be to coat it all to make sure it's all sealed, and then that's basically this ring done. Still slightly tacky, but yeah, there, done. Cute. So let's put that one to one side. Now let's get on to the technique I've been itching to try. This is the one from, I think you pronounce it Krei Art, K-R-E-I, and another channel that's written in, is it Chinese, Japanese? I'm not quite sure what language it is, so I have no idea how it's spelled or how to pronounce it. But I'll put you some links for their channels. They do a lot of resin work without mould, and it's absolutely stunning. Now, what I've seen them do is use these little sticky mats and just work straight onto them with resin. Now, I've done some flat ones. You'll have seen in my video about using open back mould, sorry, open back bezels, but I've not tried curved ones like this yet. So what we do is we roll up our little sticky mat. We've got the size of ring that I think fits my finger. Let's check. Yeah, but as you can see, these aren't particularly jewellery pieces of, you know, jewellery findings or anything. They are just little metal art rings. So what I want to try and do is end up with a ring a bit like that one we've just done, but completely clear. So, and I don't want to go, do I want to go all the way around? I think I want to do a funny shape. So there's our first ring piece there. We've got that on, and I'm going to get my cutters next, and I'm going to cut these directly in half as accurately as I can. Might need two, don't know. Let's do a second one ready just in case. Great little wire cutters these. You can use any wire cutters. I used to use just my jewellery pliers, but then I got this pair, which are very good for being very, very accurate with. So I thought I'd use these. Right, where's my resin? Here's my resin. Now I'm going to get my glittery sticky mat into shot because I think we're going to be needing this. Bits might go flying, that's the thing. Sticky mats are great for stopping that happen. So I just need to make sure you're still in shot. Yeah. So if I stay in the middle of my mat, then I know I'm in shot. Sorry if the glitteriness is a bit distracting. I do love this mat. One of my early sticky mat makes. It's a really useful one to stop bits flying around. Now what I want to do, this is something I've seen done on that channel. And I might be using the thinner ultraviolet resin for this, I think, because it's going to involve building up some thin layers. So what I want to try and do is fix one of these pieces like so, so it makes a curve. Do you see what I mean? So I'll put it on side by side and then move it out. So we've got a little bit of a curve there. Now obviously I'm going to need to fix it like that somehow to make it look so easy. I suppose it is when you're very, very practiced at these things. So I'm just going to put a little dot of my ultraviolet resin into that join there. So hopefully that's stuck those two ends together. Looks pretty good. And then the same at this end. Now I think that join looks a little bit messy, so I might do something with that in the end. Back under the lamp again. And for this one, I'm going to use some of these little flowers, I think. Let's go with white, just because I think that's cute. And kind of a homage to the channels that I've seen do this, because they use a lot of really, really pretty, very pretty flowers, and they use real flowers and all sorts of lovely little sparkly things. Now I'm going to do just this one first because I'm going to need to turn it, and of course I've got a join in my silicone there, so I'm just going to do this side first, then I'll try and do the other side. Yeah, I think this one, it's got white flowers. Use a nail art again, more nail art bits, but what I'm thinking is, can I get one of these really tiny flowers into there? First of all, of course, I think I need to get a layer of the resin in, don't I, so we've got something to stick to. Now wondering, actually, do I need to do the other side? Maybe I could just do one side. I don't know. Right, see, some of these little flowers are really, really tiny. And I think I want that fairly central. And now I'm starting to go actually over the metal as well. It should, I hope, give it a good seal. Now, while you're watching me do this, tell me something, folks. All my lovely subscribers and potential subscribers and people coming over from Daniel's channel, thank you so much. What is it about watching a crafter do an unboxing of their latest stash? What on earth is it about that makes it such fun to watch? I watch them, I love them, absolutely love them. But I can't explain to myself why that's interesting. Is it because we're all thinking, what the heck are they going to do with that? I've got to see this. Is it? I don't know. I might do something later when I get a minute. I've got a bag of stash that I've got from an incredibly cheap stationery and books and things shop in the UK here called The Works. They do a lot of children's art stuff and adults art stuff, but nothing like serious crafting materials. But sometimes in there you can find some things that you can really mix in with your own, you know, more grown up materials, like really nice quality acrylic paints, like whopping big bottles of PVA glue. We get through a lot of those, don't we? Glitter, if you just want basic sprinkle glitter for Christmas stuff, things like that. Anyway, I went and had a bit of a mad fit the other day, and I found a load of stuff that I'm planning to use for things for our coronation. Because as you know, probably, I'm sure the world knows, in Britain, we're about to have the first coronation in a hell of a long time of our new monarch, King Charles. So I thought I really ought to do something. So anyway, I found a load of stuff with the GB flag on, the Union flag, and in the works, they got tons of stuff in there, and I thought, yeah, that's kind of got to be done. We'll have that. So I might do, as it's all still in the bag, which is also a Union flag bag, I might do an unbagging rather than an unboxing. Would that be fun? I think it might be fun. As you can see, this is what I decided to do with the flowers at the end. See, I thought, well, hey, why not another little tiny flower? And then I saw that one of these little tiny flowers, I just noticed, had got one of these tiny, tiny little beads in the centre of it. And I thought, oh, that's cute. So that's what I'm going to do to tidy up these ends. I told you this would be girly, didn't I? You know what, I'm thinking bridesmaids gifts or something like that. Or big versions of this as napkin rings for wedding tables and such. I think there's lots of potential for this technique for things beyond just jewellery, actually. What else would you use ring-shaped things for? Yeah, napkin rings is the thing that immediately springs to mind. Yeah, I'm waffling again, aren't I? It amazes me. Some of you actually sit and listen to me waffling. You're so kind. But I've had people comment on my waffle sometimes and actually say, pick up on things I've actually said. And I thought, you really were listening. You need to get out more. But thank you. I hope the sound's okay, by the way. I've just realised I haven't plugged my microphone in. So what you're getting is just the sound straight off my phone, which is what I'm using to film today. So I do apologise if the sound isn't quite what it normally is. Now, all I'm going to do with this is give it a good final coat. So let's put this away. She says sounding funny because she got the brush in her mouth. I think I might know what I'm going to do with these other pieces that I cut, actually. Look at this. This is where sticky mats come into their own as well. I wonder if I can do something like that, cut them down a bit and make some drop earrings using this exact technique, make it to match. That could be a separate video all in itself. I'll leave that for now, because Danielle and I are doing rings, not earrings at this point. If any of my subscribers haven't seen Daniel's channel, by the way, all I can say is Daniel is really, truly one of the gods of resin craft. He's probably killing himself laughing, hear me say that. But he's one of, there's so many brilliant resin artists on YouTube. And I have to say, they all inspire me, because every one of them's got ideas, different ways of doing things. I remember though, when I very first saw the Petri effect, I call it the Petri effect because when I was at school they just called them Petri dishes. So I don't know whether that's the right way to pronounce it. Daniel says the Petri effect, so let's go with that. Yeah, the Petri effect in resin. And the first time I saw Daniel doing it, it was like, to me, it was like watching a bit of magic. I think the effect had been done before, but to me Daniel was the one who totally perfected that stunning swirl effect in it. And I spent, well, you'll see, I spent several videos trying to get that right when I first started my channel, because it had just grabbed my imagination completely, and I loved how he explained it too. So anybody who hasn't seen Daniel's channel, please go take a look. I bet you all have. It would be hard to miss. He's, as I say, one of the big names of resin art, a true artist. Anyone who's interested in seeing what we do with these collaborations, they're great fun. I've got another collaboration coming up soon with Wendy from Toonpish Crafts. Again, another fabulous artist who's inspired me a lot. And she and I have some things in common that we like very much. And we've had a good chat, and we've hit on a couple of things to make into a theme for a collaboration as well. So watch this space. We haven't filmed that yet. In fact, we haven't even nailed a date for it, but it should be soon. I'm going to pick up the phone to Wendy again soon and say, what would you like to do? When a newbie to YouTube like me comes onto the scene, and some much more established and well-known artists agree to collaborate with me, it's, you know, it is truly magic. And I very much feel as if I want to fit to their time frames, because they are a lot busier than me, and you know, it's down to me really to try and fit in with them. So Daniel, thank you so much for saying we need to do this now. I wanted to leave it a couple of weeks because I am very busy at the moment, but of course Daniel was chomping at the bit to get on and have a go at making these rings, and he's got a new gadget for doing them with. So, you know, I couldn't say no, could I? So I've kind of dropped everything because I was so excited to be doing this as well. Okay, coming in with the last bit more resin. These are just strengthening coats really now, and making sure none of the little beads are left exposed. I'm sealing it right onto the metal. You can see I'm definitely painting over the metal now, very much so, making sure I've got all the way around. And it's all properly sealed and fixed, because we don't want any little beads coming off, do we now? As I make this video as well, I have cleared the 1,000 subscribers. Anybody who's watching my videos recently will have seen me thanking everybody so much for your support. It's amazing. I'm just waiting still to get these things cleared with YouTube. Once I get that all finalised and made official, then I should be able to start doing different things. I should be able to open up the members facility, and I've got so many things that I want to share with people who'd like to become members. And yeah, lots of giveaways. Loads of giveaways, particularly digital downloads. I've got a lot of digital downloads that people can just pinch from me and use to their heart's content, with full permission to use them in their own projects that you want to sell, anything like that. They are going to be completely, what's the word? Open source? Is that the word? Don't know. You know what I mean? Commercial rights and everything. So here we go. And we're just going to give this a really good cure up before I take it off the band. So I've been sat here waffling away enough as it is. I'll just cut, and I'll show you the finished results.